In today's video, I share with you my Gencon 2024 experience. But before we get into today's video, just want to share with you what the GGGGs are for this month. Each month, Bob the Beholder picks some of my Patreon supporters to receive gratitude gifts. And for this month of August of 2024, we have 2 pledges for the Curse of the Citadel Lava Burst Edition that should be up and running. There's going to be a 72-hour early bird special, so make sure you jump in on that before this upcoming Monday when it goes back to its original cost, which isn't that much. I made a whole video about it. Make sure you check it out here. And I made an awesome diorama for my miniatures case to feature some of my favorite miniatures. Also, we have a pledge for the Flatline City Third Wave Kickstarter from Saucerman Studios. That's happening right now. We have this Silver Dragon from Tanaris Adventures. And then finally, we have this Funker called UV Light Curing Putty, which I made a video for. Check it out here. Use the link below to go to my Patreon page where you can find out more information on how you can get in for as low as $1 on the opportunity of being chosen by Bob for one of these gratitude gifts at the end of the month. Make sure to check out some of my videos from previous Gen Cons, but this year, Gen Con continues to grow. For those of you who don't know, it is North America's largest gaming convention in Indianapolis. And this year, I don't have the official numbers yet, but it certainly did top 70,000 participants, which was the number last year. So I'm guessing maybe it was 80,000, but the entire event sold out. So no one was able to walk in any of the days, any of the 4 days that the convention was going on. So a ton of people. So it's exciting to see. The hobby is growing, Gen Con is growing, although some might argue that it is now too crowded. But I continue to have fun being able to check out new games, being able to hang out with my gaming group and meeting up with all of you lovely people who have subscribed to my channel and supported it through Patreon. So that is one of my favorite parts of going to these conventions, is meeting up with all of you. Thanks to those of you who did walk up to me and introduce yourselves as longtime subscribers or supporters. It was great to meet you and to be able to hand out some of the Gaming Geek stickers. So the convention hall did have many of the usual suspects, such as Kingdom Death Monster, Fantasy Flight games, Atomic Mass games, but it also had some new ones this year, and I was surprised to see a number of 3D printing companies, including Loot Studios, was there for the first time, had a booth trying to sign up people for their subscription services. And it seemed like this year there was more miniature tabletop wargaming companies, and that isn't typical. Usually Gen Con features mostly board games rather than the miniature heavy ones. So it's fun to see that there are more tournaments, more events happening for the tabletop wargaming community. So that was a lot of fun, in addition to checking out various games that are up and coming. Here are the games that I purchased at the event. The first one here that I want to highlight is a role-playing game called ShadowDark. I knew nothing about this company until I was wandering the halls and just ran into them. I saw that they were up for an Emmy award, so that made me intrigued, and I went ahead and I purchased the base book. But basically, it is a streamlined version of Dungeons and Dragons, sort of the old school versions of them, but it has some of the newer nice mechanics, such as having advantage, having some of the simplified mechanics that I enjoy from 5e. So I was curious with the gameplay, so I did actually end up getting some generic tickets, even though all of their events were sold out. Oftentimes you can go to the event with some generic tickets, and if they have an opening or if they have someone who cancels, then you can jump in. Or in this case, you know, they're more than happy to squeeze in another player. Someone didn't end up showing up, so I was able to take that spot. Had a ton of fun with a 2-hour one-shot session. It was great to be able to play with some new friends that I met there around the table. I definitely think ShadowDark RPG might be a candidate of replacing the upcoming D&D 5.5e version, the updated 5th edition that the player's handbook was actually on sale at limited quantities at Gen Con. It's going to be widely available in another month or so at retail. And then over the next quarter, they're going to be dropping the Monster Manual as well as the Dungeon Master's Guide. I had full intention of purchasing that and updating my 5e collection, but after having played this ShadowDark, I actually think I'm going to go this route instead. One of the fun mechanics of it is that your torch lasts 1 hour of real time. So it moves things along, it keeps things moving along, and I like the pacing that it pushes adventurers towards actually getting things done, moving forward, not dilly-dallying. So this is actually pretty fun, and you might see it in some future videos as I try out this rule set with some other games. The only other event that I attended was the Car Wars 6th edition event. And to be perfectly honest, I had already bought this box set and painted up all of the miniatures in it, but I hadn't had an opportunity to play it yet. So my gaming friends, they signed up for it. I was able to jump in last minute because it hadn't sold out yet. And the amazing thing is we were able to receive their new expansion boxes, 2-player expansion boxes. So the one that I had actually pre-ordered, the orange and purple, I think, 2-player box set, we were able to receive that after the end, which was amazing because it was only a $4 ticket to get into this play session. Also, they gave away this mat, which was something I was looking for to actually purchase at their booth, but they ended up giving this away as well. So super fruitful to be able to play this game, not only because I learned how to play and had a lot of fun playing it, but also grabbed a bunch of stuff for only a $4 entry ticket. So thanks to Steve Jackson Games for just giving away a ton of stuff at their event. I just love when they do that. So much appreciated. Go ahead and make a comment below if you want a review video for Car Wars, but I'm behind a little bit. This game has been out for a while. There's tons of other review videos out there, but I definitely like this less crunchy version. And that's going to be one of the themes that you notice, is that I prefer streamlined rule sets. I don't really like things being complicated for complication's sake. It just slows things down. And definitely I like this edition of Car Wars, which is streamlined and more fun to play in my opinion. I also purchased this Cyberpunk Red Combat Zone. Again, didn't really know a whole lot about this, but I walked by Monster Fight Club's booth because I always liked their terrain, but didn't even know that they had produced a game. So I did a demo there at the booth, and I was really impressed with the reaction system that is part of this game, where even as you attack another person, they have an opportunity to react and either attack you back or try to defend. So I liked all of that interaction that was happening within this game. I liked the dice mechanic that determines how many actions that you have and spending those actions in order to do various things. So really like the system, not overly complicated, but fun enough that I wanted to invest in it and try it out. So went ahead and bought this. And here's a pro tip. Instead of buying it there for $120, I jumped on Amazon and ordered it for $109, and they shipped it next day shipping, so it was waiting for me when I came back home from Gencon. Usually I buy stuff at Gencon only if it is an exclusive or if I can pay less because due to not needing to pay for shipping, and that was the case for this as well. But most of the time you can purchase these games for a cheaper price outside of the convention because there's just a lot of hype at the convention. People are dumping tons of money there. Finally, I did end up pre-ordering the Halo Flashpoint game from Mantic. They were selling their Recon version there available in their booth, but I wanted the Spartan version, which comes with a number of extras, and those haven't gone to sale yet, and that's going to be another month or two, so I didn't mind waiting. So that's a game that I tried out actually at Adepticon and have been waiting for it to come out. So I went ahead and pre-ordered that, so that game is coming. Dead Zone is one of my favorite skirmish games of all time, and excited about this reskin with Halo to see how it plays, and we'll come out with a comparison video soon. I did try out this game called Cosmic Conquest. Now, they actually reached out to me before the convention and asked if I would be willing to do a review video of their game, as they're going to be kickstarting that next month in September at some point. So I did actually end up playing the game, and even though it is more based off of a card game, which is not something that I play, I actually like the game a lot. So they're going to go ahead and send that game to me. I'm going to do a review video for it in the next month or so. So look forward to that. Another game that I demoed in the hall, never seen them before, but just ran into them, is a game called Hewns, which I was just attracted to their booth because of how amazing the miniatures looked. So this is going to be a campaign at some point in the future. Not quite sure about the timeline, but the miniatures look awesome. They're looking for a manufacturer before they go to Kickstarter in order to fund the game. Reach out to them. Hopefully they'll be able to send me a review copy, because I would love to check it out and give you guys a review as to whether or not the gameplay is really good. But in the least, the table presence is really awesome, so looking forward to that. I tried to get a demo of the Fallout miniature skirmish game that was available there, but their booth was really crowded. Didn't want to stick around and wait and see. But other fun things, I ran into Ross from Fohammer. He is my favorite resin 3D printer reviewer, and so we were able to talk shop as fellow resin printer reviewers, and it's always fun to run into him. He's with the Artist Opus booth. Whenever there's conventions, they fly him out so that he does demos for them. Ran into Alex from Board Game Co. Was able to chat with him as well, and he actually was at the booth for Dragori Games. We were talking to the representative for Tanaris Adventures, and Alex actually told me that I should have gotten Odolin, because he thinks that Odolin is a little bit simpler and streamlined gameplay compared to Tanaris Adventures, because I told him I didn't need a whole nother campaign game, but he thinks that Odolin was actually worth it. But unfortunately, I didn't back it, because again, I have tons of campaign games that I have to get through. Other than that, just had a ton of fun. As always, I saved money by getting a hotel that's about 10-15 minutes away. The place that I went to, which was a Quality Inn, was about the diviest hotel that I've ever stayed in Indianapolis, but it was only $70 a night compared to the $400 a night hotels that are within sort of walking distance, close distance to the convention center. But I always stay far away because I don't mind coming in. I pay $10 for parking, and that's not a big deal. That way I can spend all the money on games instead of the hotel. Plus, I'm old now, so I don't want to be in a room with 5 other guys sharing a room. So that's the route that I go. Always fun to see all the cosplayers, a bunch of other people that are excited about this hobby, and being able to be a part of Andrew's panel discussion about 3D printing miniatures. That's always fun to do. Meeting up with so many gamers that are passionate about this hobby is a huge highlight for me every year. So go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already, because I will be coming out with future videos featuring some of these games, having some reviews so that you can know whether or not these are games that you should be invested in. Also, make a comment below if you did go to Gencon. What were some of your favorite games that you tried out? And finally, use the link below to go to my Patreon page so that you can get in on this month's GGGGs. Happy gaming. We'll see you next time.